Ladies and gentlemen, our Vice President of the United States of America has decided to get more control over the media. Um, ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt calls to control social media higher up. Now, why did I call this guy our Vice President of the United States? Because Benjamin Netanyahu is our president and Jonathan Greenblatt is the Vice President. He sees what's going on and stuff like that. And then, of course, he brings that concern to the president, which is Benjamin Netanyahu. And of course, you get the whole idea. You know what I'm saying? Now, based off of the title, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Americans, if you're listening, all right, your freedom is being stripped right in front of your own eyes, and you're busy blaming black people, and you're busy blaming Muslims, and you're busy blaming white people, and you're busy blaming every race, every religion, except for the perpetrators. And that's what I'm here to, you know, wake you up to. With that being said, let's get it.
So this is pretty shocking. You might have heard of the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. It's the organization here in the United States that says it's focused on combating anti-Semitism while also working with Israeli government.
FYI, if you don't know the history of ADL, it started off based off of a PDF file who, did a horrendous thing to a young girl and unalived her and tried to blame it on a black guy. And of course, that didn't pass through. And there was a group of white mob who went ahead and broke him out of prison and then hung him. He was one of the special people, the God chosen people. All right. And based off of his death, that's how the ADS started. In conclusion, ADS started because of a PDF file. Look at that. It seems like these people just surround themselves with this group of people. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them. Even Israel is literally the mecca of PDF file when they commit crime here and they get caught. Yeah, America helps extradite them into Israel. It is literally a haven for PDF files. That city, that state, something is like not wrong with the citizens, with the people, with just something is not right here. They unalive babies. They commit the G side. They like to diddle kids and so it's like, what is wrong with y'all? I'm sorry, like it's just seriously, and this like it's so confusing.
Officials in pushing pro-Israel policies and censorship here in the United States. Well, the ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt here was just found in an interview stating about how the social media algorithms need to be controlled higher up in these social media companies in order to control the narrative in what he says is to combat fighting anti-Semitism. Here's a short clip of it. Let's dissect it one at a time. Take a listen.
But I want to ask you, I mean, so much anti-Semitism is spread unchecked on social media. And there was a time when social media companies, let's say, more aggressively police these kinds of
things. If you will, like the public conversation, and it's now mediated through algorithms, invisible to us, but like manifest on our phones.
Oh, and one more tip that I want to give you guys. FYI, the reason, what's this guy's name? Larry, somebody. The reason he bought TikTok is because of this guy right here. Yeah, I made a video a couple of months ago where this guy was on a phone call and he said we have a major, his word, not mine, major TikTok problem. FYI, a few months later, they bought TikTok. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I mean when I say these are our leader right here. Don't look at Trump. Trump, he's just he's like a puppet in front of you to make it seem like everything is, in control and everything. Meanwhile, the hand is this guy, and you guessed it, Benjamin Netanyahu with his Goonies. Those are the real puppet masters.
So you and I could be sitting literally like on the same sofa in the same house, looking at our phones, getting two entirely different worldviews. Steven Pinker's got this good new book about common knowledge. I think it's a problem when common knowledge is exploded and when there's no shared understanding of what like ground truth is. For a lot of our young people, ground truth is, ChatGPT, which itself is drawing information to its large language model from like Wikipedia and Al Jazeera. Like that is really troubling. If we are going to solve this problem, we need to get upstream And we've got to figure out how to get these companies to do the right thing.
So let's stop right there, and you'll hear more of it here in a second. Al Jazeera, of course, it's a reputable news channel. It's from Qatar. It's in the Middle East. It's has Al Jazeera English. The one thing that Jonathan Greenblatt, of course, doesn't like about it is that the difference between Al Jazeera and CNN and Fox News, which all have their own form of propaganda. They're all trying to push something. I mean, Al Jazeera, like I just said, it's from Qatar, so they have their own interests. CNN has its own interests. But the one thing is that Al Jazeera, of course, is not Zionist run. So it's pushing pushing a narrative that wasn't seen before, definitely not seen here in American media. And that's something that Jonathan Greenblatt is tired of. Al Jazeera uses words like genocide, of course, which American media ran by Zionists don't ever use, would never use, which is why he's so fearful of it. So aside from this, we actually also heard recently, I'm going to pull up Drop Site News here so you guys can take a listen. ADL CEO, this is what I just mentioned. Here it is. Let me see if you guys can see this accurately. Haaretz revealed the state of Israel has signed multi-million dollar contracts with U.S. firms linked to Trump allies and evangelicals to rebuild support among conservatives. The campaign uses bots, influencers, and retrains AI systems like ChatGPT and Claude to steer discourse and rehabilitate Israel's image. On social media, ADL's chief Jonathan Greenblatt says the goal is to get upstream to, quote, solve the problem, praising recent TikTok takeover by Larry Ellison, Mark Andreessen, and others. So we have a dude here who's just going out publicly stating we have to get upstream. We have to control the social media. We have to control what's being said. We have to control the algorithms. And if there's any sort of criticism of Israel, which he says is anti-Semitism, because as we know, Jonathan Greenblatt here has directly said and advocates that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. And
So yeah, FYI, this came directly from the mouth of Joe Biden. This was way in the past. He said you don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. That's what he said. Theodore Herzl, he didn't believe in God. He was a Zionist. So they are not trying to take a political party and then put it together with a religion. You know what I'm saying? With a group of people. Now, which group of people to be specific? I have no idea. See, if I become a staunch supporter of Israel, I can be considered as a Zionist. I'm not a Jew. At least I haven't done a DNA test, but I'm not a Jew. But I can identify as a Zionist. So now if somebody says, hey, Buzz, I don't like the fact that you support Israel, automatically that person has become anti-Semitic. Does that make any sense to you? You see what I'm saying? Here's even the catcher. There are Orthodox Jews out there who seriously hate Zionism. You know what they call them? Self-hating Jews. I'm so confused. So let me get this straight, right? If you're against Zionism, you're anti-Semitic. If you're a Jew who is against Zionism, you are a self-hating Jew. But Joe Biden said in the past that you don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. I can identify as a Zionist, even though I do not have a lineage of the Jewish community. They are literally trying to manipulate reality. And if you go against whatever false information they put out there, you are considered an anti-Semite. This is why you can never win against these people. You seriously cannot win. And they know that. That's why they are paying people to push their propaganda. That's why they are literally shutting down places like Grok, because it's spreading false information about their, whatever it is that they're doing. This is why they are, buying TikTok and all these giant social media out there so they can control as much information as possible, because they know that they're full of shit. They know that they cannot force you to like Israel, but what they can do is make sure you do not speak out against it. So ladies and gentlemen, right now is the best moment ever in history to have freedom of speech, because it's only a matter of time before our vice president and our president decide to take that away from us. Because they're working on it. Believe it or not, they are working on it as we are speaking.
Zionism was, of course, a political ideology that Jewish people deserve a homeland in Palestine, regardless of what happens to the people that are indigenously living there at the time. So there's a guy here who's trying to conflate a political ideology with a religion, calling all things that criticize that political ideology anti-Semitic, and then wanting to control social media algorithms to make sure that any sort of criticism of such political ideology is immediately shut down and people aren't able to speak about it. I started growing my platform originally on TikTok, and ever since just a month ago, when the new hate speech manager of TikTok is a former IDF soldier, and now controls the hate speech of TikTok, immediately changed hate speech community guidelines on TikTok to also include nationality and more things related to Zionism. So let's continue listening to a little bit more of this, and we'll speak about it a bit more here in a second. One moment.
This is why I don't post on TikTok anymore. You know, maybe I'll probably post there every once in a while, like I'm trying to, but I'm not as motivated to post there anymore because the type of stuff that I say, most likely just gonna get taken down anyway because it's now being controlled completely by Zionists. And you know for a damn fact that they're gonna make sure that whatever information that you have about them, they're gonna make sure that they suppress that. So what's the point of working on posting on an app that's going to suppress your page and your video so it doesn't reach a vast number of people to get the information out there?
But I want to ask.
Be policing, but look, I don't think it's cancel. If we are going to solve this problem, we need to get upstream, and we've got to figure out how to get these companies to do the right thing. Again, like you said, it's kind of out of fashion these days for them to be policing. But look, I don't think it's cancel culture, not the platform Nazis. I don't think it's cancel culture, not the platform jihadists. So we would hope that they will do better in the future. And we've got a whole robust sort of advocacy agenda, like pushing and pushing and pushing. And we just got to keep at it. It ain't going to happen overnight. It's not easy, but we can't lose sight of our, of these goals.
I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there, ladies and gentlemen. So again, if you want to go ahead and find the rest of the video and watch it for yourself and get more information on it, I highly recommend for you guys to go and watch it and also subscribe to him. He's a really good journalist. You know, they do really, really good job digging up these traitors. And the reason I say that is because these people are working for a foreign country. Americans, they're not working for you. Okay? I hate to break the news to you. These people are not in your favor. They're not working for you. They pretend they care about you. They love you. They want to be with you, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? Christians, you're being unalive over there as well. Yeah, those special group of people, God's chosen people, they're also killing a bunch of Christians. Obviously, we know that Palestinian Muslims are also being completely killed. We know that. But Christians, for some reason, the fact that that one is being suppressed tells me all that I need to know. And you know what's the kicker? You know what's even crazier than that? It's the fact that it's being funded by Christians themselves. I mean, holy shit. Think about that for a second. And you want to know what's even crazier than that? Christians are literally funding to bring the Antichrist out. And I'm just like, oh my God. The rabbit hole goes even deeper. Christians are literally funding so that way Jesus can return. And Jesus says in the Bible that those who do not accept me, bring them here, and all of them. What do we know? The Jews don't accept them. So you are funding the coming of Christ. You are funding the coming of Antichrist. You are funding the unaliving of Muslims. You are funding the unaliving of Christians as well. I mean, do you guys even read your own Bible? I'm sorry, like, what is wrong with y'all? You know what? We do not want to go. We don't want to use theology, okay? Because if I get into theology, we'll be here forever. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. And I will see you guys in the next video.